Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished entrepreneur from Pune, India, Mr. Jay Mistry. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashutosh.
Jay is the Chief Executive Officer of Zazzy and Petara. He's a digital designs entrepreneur, a designpreneur, a technophile, a mistake maker, and a learner. Jay has uh, several brands that he has worked with, which include Tyke, Ogilvy, Ford, Mapro, Falero, Byju's, Pathfinder, Strategy Connect, Golden Pie, Rule Zero, and many more. So, Jay, let me start by asking you, tell me about your journey and what motivated your transition from engineering to design and then to product management.
Uh, I had a very typical journey, as usual to every every other designers, which is I completed my study, and after that I was looking for what to do next because I did not have any particular guidance. I am from a tier three cities, or I would say tier four city. I don't know. A small town called Bilimora in Gujarat, and yeah, so I I I did my engineering from Hampi, that's in Karnataka,
Yeah.
and after that I started my job. I had several jobs. So my during the time at Textbook, the education learning platform.
Hmm.
Uh, I was there as one of the second or first or second employee. I was there as a I was looking after design as well as I was looking after the coding. I was very interested in overall technologies and coding languages and all. So during that time I understood that coding is great. It's logic, you know, but design is emotion. You technically drive emotion, business, business decisions, consumer decisions,
Hmm.
based on a design. So design can shape up a vast and majority of consumers' decision as well as the capability. And that's
Hmm.
what I thought to explore in that. And yeah, again, self-study helped. Uh, YouTube at that time, was like becoming more and more famous in
Hmm.
India.
Hmm.
So YouTube has helped me a lot. Uh, and I learned design, and then I joined, Imbibe, another edtech startup. So that's how my design journey
Hmm.
started.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So let's talk now about Zazzy. You know,
Mhm.
uh, tell me a little bit about Zazzy. What is the meaning of the words Zazzy and the kind of work you do at Zazzy?
So it's interesting, a lot of time people get confused. My name is Jay, right? So people get confused between Jazzy and Zazzy, you
Hmm.
know, and so so yeah, I mean, Zazzy meaning is flashy,
Hmm.
something that stands out,
Hmm.
and I hope we are doing justice to the name. You know, uh, Zazzy is a digital design studio based out of Pune,
Hmm.
and we have offices in Pune and Atlanta,
Hmm.
Georgia. Uh, we have been working with some of the fast forward brands, fast forward thinking brands, small and medium and large.
Hmm.
We have helped brands like Interpolitan. We have had brands like Hudson. We have helped brands like again, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Indian government, IIT Ropar, IIT Jodhpur. So these are some of
Hmm.
the brands that we have
Yeah.
been working very closely,
Hmm.
mainly into branding, UI UX, and marketing segment. So brands come to us, with the problem that hey, we want to solve this particular problem. For
Hmm.
example, Kuku FM. Kuku FM had a problem of low click-through rate,
Hmm.
low CTR, and we have been helping them, with the high-performing podcast thumbnails, for Kuku FM. which has increased the CTR. So they come to us with the problem that we have a problem of, we are not able to retain our customers. We are facing a huge chunk of bounce rates, and then we help them solve that problem either through design, either through journey mapping, or either through data filtering and all sorts of strategies. Yeah.
Very interesting. So my next question, Jay, is how do you define good design, and what are some common misconceptions about design that you encounter?
Oh, there are a lot. Trust me. It's a tricky question.
Hmm.
Apart from what the general truth, which is available widely, which is good design is easily readable. Good design has a lot of white space, and good design is easily, I mean, is guiding the user. So these are the general truth that we all know, right? What I feel, good design always improve business. Okay, good design is always go hand in hand with the business outcomes. I can give you like hundreds of names. For example, Amazon. Now, Amazon might not be the best design in the world,
Hmm.
but it is one of the best performing design, you know, uh, because people are loving it.
Hmm.
People are loving the overall browsing experience on Amazon, not just because of the design, but of course, the kind of catalog that they have, but design is playing a vital role
Hmm.
in overall discovery of the platform, right, or discovery of the products. So
Hmm.
I feel good design always align with the business outcomes. If the business outcome is not met, I don't think so we should call it as a good design or even a design. It's just a shiny clothes the human is wearing.
Hmm. Correct. 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 So moving on, when you started Zazzy, what were some of the challenges you faced in the early days, and how did you overcome them?
A lot actually. I mean, I would not say I have overcome. Every day is a new challenge for
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
That I assure you. uh, so my personal background is in product. I'm a engineer turned designer turned product guy. You
Hmm.
know, I know how to build products. I did not know the nitty gritty of service business. In fact, I was the one who was against service business.
Hmm.
So, and again, I mean, we are openly say that on our Zazzy website that the last thing this world needs is another design agency.
Hmm.
Okay, so 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 the first challenge was that I don't know how to run service business.
Hmm.
I have no idea. I did not know how to and what to charge client. You know, should I charge them based on my previous salary? Should I charge them based on my salary plus all the employee salary? But in that case, I knew for the fact that I mean, what if my employee increased? So I did not know all sorts of things in terms of service business because I have always been building products. Uh, so yeah, that was one of the biggest challenge. Uh, Another challenge was what I understood is that, and I still face that, be it large, small, or fledgling startups, everyone has a different understanding of design
Hmm.
because design is something which, so in the case of coding, when I used to do code, it's a logic, right? People people want this is the input, and I want certain output.
Hmm.
So people care about the end result. People don't care about the how you have written the code. Only the best of best developers care about how you have written the code. In the case of design, everyone has an opinion. Everyone has their opinion, their friend's opinion. You know, I have never seen a person who says that, okay, I don't know what this. I mean, I don't know how to judge the design. They
Hmm.
can say either it's a good design or bad design, but they have an opinion.
Right.
So, so formalizing those opinion, on an early stage,
Hmm.
was a challenge because I came from a design background where I knew what's working, what's not working, but I did not know how to tell them that this will work. Trust me. You know. So this was some of the challenges.
Hmm.
Uh, how we have resolved it is regarding this pricing and early service thing. I mean, again, experience taught us a lot. Uh, Thankfully, we have been a fast learner for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that helped us in terms of uh, forming the opinion, accepting the opinions from our clients, and then delivering the best of best in
Hmm.
our capability, which serves as a good design. You know, we set a process, and then those process helped us, reducing the rework, managing the design expectation in the right way, and delivering at the best capability.
Very interesting. Can you also, I don't know if you're free to talk about any product, but could you describe a product or a project that you are particularly proud of?
Sure, there are a lot actually.
Hmm.
Recently, one of the product that we have been working very closely with the UK fintech giant,
Hmm.
you know, who are the competition of, I would say, indirect competition of PayPal and a direct competition of Wise,
Hmm.
for HNIs,
Hmm.
HNIs and ultra HNIs and businesses. That is something is very interesting. That that particular product is extremely interesting that we have been working with.
Hmm.
One of the example is Tyke. Tyke, I mean, super proud how Tyke has been come out.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
My next question for you is, how do you balance creativity with usability in your designs?
it's a thin line. You know what? Uh, pe- so what I've understood and what I've seen is that people people assume creativity as a step of innovation,
Hmm.
as a step of if I specifically talk about the design sense, but not in the general sense.
Hmm.
People think more of a creativity is that, for example, this sort of layout of a website, it's
Hmm.
pretty common. How can we do it creatively? And they try to force it, you know, certain elements of design, or, certain colors,
Hmm.
just to be creative. And in hope of being creative, they lose the entire essence of usability,
Hmm.
because people want certain guided journey. People coming to your website for the first time, they don't know how do you guys operate.
Hmm.
That means it has to be a guided journey with invisible words. We are guiding them through
Hmm.
UX capabilities that, you should do next, then you should do next. So it has to be very crystal clear and focus driven. So I feel, and I say it often, I mean, too much creativity kills the product.
Hmm.
So so yeah, the creativity has to be in a balanced way, that it does not hamper with the usability and
Hmm.
accessibility. you
Hmm.
know so yeah, I see that in that way.
Very well said. And what are some of the core values of Zazzy that you emphasize all the time when it comes to your own company's culture?
Be as blunt as possible,
Hmm.
uh, be transparent,
Hmm.
be honest, and experiment a lot. you
Hmm.
know Experiment a lot. And the biggest one, which we say it loud, is, and of course, we have trademarked this particular sentence which I'm
Hmm.
about to say,
Hmm.
is go bold or go home. you
Hmm.
know so we don't shy away to go bold, and we love this sentence so much that we have trademarked this in India. Go
Wonderful.
bold or go home.
Wonderful. Go bold or go home. What a fascinating set of words. My next question, Jay, is how do you see the role of AI and machine learning in the future of product design and user experience?
It's amazing. Thanks for asking this question actually, because a lot of the time, clients, candidates, new joinees, everyone asks this question. The way I see AI is so the way I see AI is definitely shaping the world, faster than what we have ever experienced and imagined.
Correct.
Uh, AI is is the next revolution. There is no doubt about it.
Hmm.
Okay, and it is its learning capability is extremely. I think 100x faster or 1000x faster than human capability,
Hmm.
right? So, and that is the reason that within the 2 or 3 years, it has it has evolved a lot. But at the same time, it has not come to the situation where they can replace the human
Hmm.
in a thinking capability,
Hmm.
at least in the public knowledge. I'm sure there are a lot of research
Yeah.
at the back must be going on,
Hmm.
but it cannot completely replace the human, at least at this stage, in a creativity and design.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that they, I mean, that's it. I'm very optimistic, and I'll be super thrilled to see those things. I don't see that as a threat for the Zazzy.
Hmm.
I'm super thrilled to see that day where AI can build a lot of the things, and things will be at the same capacity and capability.
Hmm.
That means those niche expertise will be available to general public, which is
Hmm.
amazing. I see that as a next
Right.
revolution for sure.
Right. Right. Amazing. Amazing. So, given what you just told me about your own values of go bold or go home, can you share an example of a design that where you think you made a significant mistake and what did you learn from it?
Wow. Uh, in early days, of course, we have made a lot of mistakes.
Mm.
Lot of mistakes. We have a lot of things we could have done very differently. But if
Mm.
I talk about design perspective or creativity perspective,
Mm.
uh, one of the early mistake what we have done is, uh, let's say for example, I'll openly say that IIT Roper. Okay, so we have been working on a website with IIT Roper. Okay, given my education background, we were so much involved towards the overall usability and creativity
Mm.
of consumer focused design. You know, I think one of the mistakes what we have done is also understanding the stakeholder requirement.
Mm. Mm.
It was definitely fascinating and usable and mind blowing for the consumer,
Mm.
but the stakeholder has a different need. you know and yeah, I mean again, as the sentence says, go bold or go home. We went bold. We went we met and talked to stakeholders. We redo the entire thing. We
Mm.
made whatever the mistake that we have made, we have improved upon that,
Mm.
and the end result was amazing.
Amazing. Fantastic. So, Jay, I have time for two more questions. My next question is, what role does design play in building and maintaining user trust?
It's a very, I mean, I'll answer this question with the huge responsibility I feel, because see, uh, the moment we go digital, trust is everything. We see what sort of things going on right now around us. I feel design plays a huge role,
Mm. Mm.
in building trust
Mm.
for any consumer. But at the same time, you know, along with design, I would say the overall experience, because in that, your content, the clarity of content, the way you speak, the way you show through design, visual, animations,
Mm.
and the website, the cumulatively the experience plays a massive role,
Mm.
that can build or break, the trust at any time.
Mm.
Uh, I think after words or meeting in person, design is the single most influential thing people perceive psychologically, and
Mm.
that is proven by tons of research.
Right.
That design is the single most influential thing making the decisions, for the consumers or even for us. I mean, so, and that is the reason, uh, that said, right? Don't judge the book by the cover, because we
Mm.
judge the books by the cover, that how beautiful it is, right?
Mm.
So design is the single most influential thing, in terms of building the trust, in terms of the business building, or business improvement or business outcomes, we say.
Mm. Great response.
Yeah.
And my last question for you, what trends do you see shaping the future of digital design?
I think the way I see the trend, I mean, I'm sure down the line, I mean, we have already started seeing the sign of that.
Mm.
But down the line, 3 years or 4 years max, websites will be automated. Your entire user journey will be automated. You don't have to worry about. You don't have to hire developer and designers to, go out and, I mean, the AI will handle those things. But again, right now, those things are not perfect. It's gonna
Mm.
take another 3 years or 4 years, another iterations for a lot of companies.
Sure.
And of course, I mean, a lot of the things will be automated. And at that time, what I see, we as a design company, instead of going, I mean, we don't see as a threat, honestly. AI is not as a threat, at least for 3 years
Mm.
or 4 years right
Mm.
now. The way I see the trend is that at that time, people who know what to do in this situation, because at that time, AI will not know,
Mm.
because see, I mean, what I feel is that entrepreneurship is not a fixed journey. It's not a, every day is a new day. It's not a fixed journey, right? That means you train the model based on a tens of thousands of data,
Mm.
but the model will not know how to navigate the entrepreneurship, because it's not a fixed journey, right? So so all the designers and developers who know what to do at particular situation, understanding the human level situation, because at the
Mm.
end of the day, we are dealing with a human, you
Mm.
know they are going to win against the AI.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I see this trend where a lot of the things going to be automated, and people will not need how to do this.
Mm.
People will need more of a what to do in certain situation.
Right. Right. Great response. Thank you. And on that note, Jay, thank you so much for speaking to me about your own journey. Thank you for speaking to me at such length about design, about all the challenges that companies face and how you help people overcome them. Zazzy seems to be an absolutely amazing brand that you have created for digital design. Thank you also for speaking to me about how you see the future of design. Thank you again and good luck.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for inviting me, and it has been a pleasure talking to you, knowing you, and amazing. I hope, I mean, uh, uh, I hope it had make us even a single contribution to anyone. I mean, I'd be super helpful, and super glad.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.